Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to the Call of Duty World War II Veteran Difficulty walkthrough. We are moving on to Mission 5. This one is called Liberation. So in the last chapter we met up with Russo and a couple others, and our goal now is to take back Paris from the Germans. So as always, start it up on Veteran. Enjoy the cutscene.
It's been a week since we took out that train. Our platoon's in the middle of Paris, working with the resistance. Russo and Crowley have a plan to sabotage the occupation, and that means striking at its heart.
Using the documents we obtained from the train, Russo and I will pose as Nazi officers to infiltrate the garrison.
This way, gentlemen. The Garrison is run by SS and Polizeiführer Heinrich. And he couldn't find me. Came for my parents. And my husband. And finally, my son. Tonight, everything we've lost, everything we fought for, will mean something. Tonight, we take back our city.
The garrison. Our contact there will supply us with explosives. And when we blow the gates, that'll be your signal to approach.
We're counting on you.
All right, boys. Let's get ready.
These crowds ain't gonna give up easy.
I figure we can survive Pearson, we can survive anything.
I fought alongside him with Kasserine. We should all be so brave.
It won't be long now, mes amis. But first, we enter the wolves' den. See you there.
So the level actually starts off pretty interestingly, something different than anything I've seen in any other Call of Duty games. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very, I guess, it's not like an over-the-top action-y Call of Duty introduction. Instead, we're kind of on a mission of espionage. So we are playing as Russo, and that right there, that guy on our right, that's Crowley. So Russo is French, Crowley is British. I think the girl driving the car is British. And our goal right now is to kind of infiltrate a Nazi command center. And so we are in Paris right now. The Nazis control Paris. And our goal is to infiltrate this command center, and you see here that you actually have these papers. So we are posing as a German, soldier, or just a person in the Nazi army. And you see here that there are certain pieces of information on this that are highlighted. And so what they kind of do, and you're going to see it in a couple seconds, it's kind of different. You actually have to remember what those pieces of information are, because you will be questioned. You will be questioned throughout this opening of the level, and if you happen to give the wrong answer, you'll probably have to restart it. So I haven't actually given a wrong answer yet, because honestly it's not very hard. There's not a lot of information you have to remember, but I'm sure that if you give the wrong piece of information, you'll probably it'll be treated like a death, and you'll have to just redo the little part. But anyway, so here we go, Mission 5, Liberation. We are no longer playing as Daniels, at least for the time being. We are playing as Russo, who is, like I said, she's in disguise as a Nazi officer right now. And so here you see, this is exactly what I was talking about. We're going to approach this guy, and he's going to say, hey, give me your papers, let me inspect your briefcase, yada, yada, yada.
Bitte sehr.
Ich habe Sie hier noch nie gesehen. Was ist der Grund Ihres Besuchs?
And so you see now you have these two options. You can choose either travel documents or whatever the other option was. In our paperwork, it says that's our thing, is we're here to handle some traveling papers, and so that's one of the pieces of information you have to remember. And I really like how it was done. You saw that you had a limited amount of time to answer the question correctly. Again, it's not very hard, and it's not necessarily anything new in the grand scheme of video games, but it offers kind of a breather from just straight up, hey, here's a gun, go in guns blazing. It offers a reprieve from that, and I kind of enjoyed this this part. Now you see we are now in the Nazi command center, and there are a number of different people you can talk to. Our main goal is to look for Fischer. So what you'll want to do is talk to this guy here. He'll tell you that Fischer is in the basement, and now we're going to go to the basement, talk to someone else, and find out that Fischer's actually on the 3rd floor. Now, there's a lot to do here. There are a lot of rooms. There are a lot of people you can talk to. There's probably some collectibles lying around. In fact, I know there are. I'm not going to be focusing on any of that because it's all kind of just filler material. I'm going to just kind of get to the core gameplay. But if you are playing the game for yourself, I'd encourage you to kind of look around and talk to people, you know, experience it for yourself. Anyway, so here we go, another checkpoint. You're going to go to this stairwell here, and he's going to say, who are you here to see? And you're going to pick Heinrich. I have no idea how to pronounce that first name, so I'm just going to say Heinrich. And there you go. Everything checks out. You're good to go. Now, I should note that if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see this little indicator with a journal on it and the down on the directional pad. That's kind of your cue. You can look at your papers at any time if you happen to forget any of the information. Now, right here, a little interesting note. You're going to see this guy drag this woman into this little room. And you can ignore it. You don't have to go in here. But if you do, you'll see that that he's about to hurt her, probably, you know, sexually assault her, and so you can open the door, and if you do that, you'll actually kill him and rescue her. Interesting side note, which I think is I don't know. I'm not going to share too many opinions on this, but apparently Australia, when they so what just happened is the German officer shoved her into the room, and it's supposed to be heavily implied that he's going to rape her. And apparently Australia, when they found that out, they said, no, either you take that out or we're gonna ban your game, which I kind of think is a little over the top. It's a little ridiculous, because here's the thing. Obviously, and this is kind of a big issue in games nowadays, games and movies and whatnot. You know, in no way, obviously, do I support sexual assaults or anything like that. But the way I look at it is this, you know, that is something that happens not only in history, but still in wars today. Not only wars, obviously, but in the context of wars, it's something that's obviously has happened. It obviously still happens. And I feel like just trying to keep the game as true as possible, that shouldn't be a problem. I mean, if you look at the opening sequence with D-Day, very violent, very graphic, but they put it in there because that's something that happened. And so Australia, they said they wanted that taken out of the game, and apparently the developers, they did decide to do that for the Australian version. So I think in the Australian version, that whole part is not in there. So I don't know, just kind of a little interesting piece of fact. I can't say I necessarily agree with that, like going that far to ban the game if they don't take out that one little 5-second sequence. But nevertheless, it's not for me to judge. That's what Australia decided to do, and that's what I think ended up happening. But yeah, so little piece of a factoid right there that I saw before I bought this game. Anyway, sorry. So this guy right here, who we went and talked to, this is Fischer. He's our inside man, and our goal here is to exchange a briefcase with his. However, he doesn't have the briefcase yet. So thanks a lot, Fischer. You're just going to make our life harder.
Cross to the north wing and avoid the checkpoints. We shouldn't be seen together.
And I'm curious to know what you guys think. So, like I just shared that opinion, how I don't think it's necessary to take out that scene from the game, and I kind of explained a little bit on why I felt that way. But I'm definitely open to hearing your guys' opinions. Even if you disagree with me, I'd love to know why. Maybe you'll be able to, I don't know, sway me or persuade me or something like that. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think of that. Do you think it's yeah, well, just, yeah, in the comments, let me know what you guys think. Anyway, you're going to approach this secretary. She's going to say, hey, go ahead and wait in Heinrich's office, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, you're going to approach this window and open it, and that's going to trigger kind of a long sequence with Heinrich, so I'm going to go ahead and let you watch that without any commentary because it is pretty important.
Ich habe Sie noch nie gesehen. Darf ich fragen, was Sie an meinem Fenster zu suchen haben?
Verzeihung, Herr Kommandant. Ich wollte gerade nur etwas frische Luft schnappen. Ich bin Gerda Schneider. Ich komme aus Berlin, um Ihnen Ihre Reisepapiere zu bringen.
Fräulein Schneider. Ich habe auf Ihren Auslandsstudium gehört. Es war in Cambridge, oder?
Ja, das ist richtig. Wenn es Ihnen jetzt recht ist, kann ich Ihnen Ihre Reisepapiere zeigen.
Da kommen wir noch sicher.
Vielen Dank.
Danken mir sehr noch nicht. Fräulein Schneider. Now, if you will indulge me, perhaps we can converse in English, for as you know, I'm sure practice makes perfect. Bitte. Nehmen Sie das Blatt. Have a seat. So, Herr Gruber sent you to arrange for my departure. I am flattered.
It was Herr Commander Spiegel.
Sehr gut. Very good. One cannot be too careful these days. You look so serious. Let us drink. To my return to the fatherland. The French deserve each other. But my God, I will miss the cuisine. Take the ortolan. That tiny, delicate songbird. Its eyes poked out so that it can gorge. And then it's drowned in cognac. It's ingenious. I'm not sure what I will miss more. Savoring the sweet flesh or watching it thrash to death. But there is one thing of which I am certain. Watching your son flail as he drowned under my boot gave me the greatest pleasure of all. Rousseau!
This is for my comrades. This is for my son. This is for me. Vive la résistance.
All right, so take that, Netzi. He is now no longer in the picture, and now we are free to creep out of the room here. We're gonna have to make our way to the war room, and that's where things are gonna get. That's where this sequence is gonna kind of finish up. A little thing I thought was interesting. So in the last level when we met Rousseau, or maybe it was at the beginning of this level, she was talking about how the Germans, how that guy in particular killed her husband and her son and a lot of her comrades. And so something I thought was interesting was as she was killing him, she said, "This is for my comrades, this is for my son, and this is for me." But she didn't stab him once for her husband. So maybe that wasn't a good marriage. Maybe, I don't know. It's just something I thought. I was like, oh, all right. Maybe for whatever reason she doesn't want to get back at him for her husband. Anyway, so these officers are going to come in and they're going to arrest Fischer because they suspect him of being a spy. As they're doing that, you're going to walk out of this doorway here. It's really weird because when they walk in, they say, "No one leave, everyone get out your papers," and we just walk right out the door without even being noticed. So yeah, really not hard to do. Anyway, that's pretty much going to end this little first espionage sequence. You're going to make your way down this hallway here, And you're going to see this one last officer who is blocking our way. He's going to ask for your papers and your briefcase.
Ist das Blut an Ihrem Ärmel?
Ich fürchte, das ist Tinte. Heute ist einer dieser Tage.
And you're going to be given an option of conversation right here. You can either I'm in a meeting or I've already checked it. It doesn't matter. Whatever one you select, this is going to happen no matter what. That guy behind him turns out to be Crowley, who at first, my first playthrough, I did not notice that. But if you actually watch closely, you can see at the very beginning when you approach that guy that it is Crowley and that he kind of waves you on. But yeah, so no matter what you answer there, that will happen. And that kind of triggers the end of this little espionage sequence. And like I said, it's not like a particularly exciting chain of events, but it was kind of a nice break, and I can admire them for throwing it in. Now, this part's actually a lot of fun. You're going to have a silenced pistol. There's going to be a number of guys patrolling the area, and we have to plant 2 explosives without being seen, or hopefully without being seen. So what you're going to do right off the bat is jump down here, jump down behind the structure. Now you'll see this one guy approaching over here, so just go ahead and hide behind these containers, and eventually he'll turn around and go away. Alright, and as soon as he does that, go ahead and turn around and pick this lock. Now it takes a couple seconds to pick the lock, so you don't want to do it while there's an enemy nearby. Now, in the room right here, you can actually see Fischer, and you have the opportunity to save him. By doing so, these 2 guys are probably going to see you. And so you see right there that even though they did spot me, all I had to do was shoot them before they triggered an alarm, and I'm okay. I'm still in stealth. Now, that being said, there is an achievement for getting through this section undetected, and I think that if the enemy's icons turn red, that means you've been detected. So if they do spot you like that, you're not going to get the achievement, but it's not the end of the world. I recommend, typically what I recommend doing is not focusing on achievements on your hardest difficulty playthrough. You should probably just focus on those later. You can do mission select and wrap those up pretty quickly. So I never intentionally set out to get achievements during my recordings, but if it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't happen, I don't really care, because my objective here is to just beat the game on the hardest setting and to show you how to do that. So these 2 guys are going to go ahead and stealth kill them. And now we have to get to the complete opposite side of this area, which might sound hard, but it's actually really simple if you follow this path. So you're going to make your way up the ramp here. There's only going to be 1 enemy on top, and he's kind of overlooking the entire area. So it's pretty easy to take him out. And now what you're going to do is follow this path, still sticking to the right-hand side. Hide behind this red flag right here, and you're going to see a couple enemies emerge. So that guy over there, he's going to turn around eventually, but this guy on the right, he's going to go into a doorway that you can't really see right now, and same for this guy that's following him. They're both going to go into this doorway. They'll remove themselves from the picture, and then as soon as that other guy turns around, we're going to drop down, and you can see this this ramp leading up. We're going to take that up. And that's pretty much all we're going to have to do. Now, I don't know how this happened, but I made a little mistake right here as I was climbing. I accidentally jumped over the ledge, and luckily they didn't see me. So don't do that. Don't jump over the ledge like I did. Learn from my mistakes. Don't be an idiot like myself. Instead, what I was trying to do was jump up onto this container. So I got a little lucky. You know, they didn't see me. But either way, just don't do that. Go ahead and pop that guy in the head. Drop down, and now there's going to be 1 more guy at the base of these stairs. You're going to want to pop him in the head as well, and that'll pretty much do it. That's all for the stealth encounter. It's actually really simple. So now you're going to creep your way into this room here. You can see there's an enemy on the right. You're going to just ignore him and go straight for this wall here to plant the charges.
Now it's up to you and your team, Daniels.
And now we will shift back to the shoes of Daniels. The espionage sequence is now completely over, and so now we're gonna get back into the traditional Call of Duty combat. So there you go. She'll trigger the explosion, and now all hell kind of breaks loose. We have to make our way towards that location, so we have to do quite a bit of fighting before we get there. Alright, so this fight is actually kind of long. this level is actually pretty long. So you'll notice that this level is about the same as the same length as the first level in the game. And that first video, the reason it was long was because there was like 10 minutes worth of cutscene. So that kind of speaks a little bit to this level because there's not as much cutscene. It's pretty much all gameplay. It's just that there's a lot to do. That first opening sequence took about, what, 20 minutes? Anyway, so now, like I said, we are controlling Daniels and we're making our way through the streets of Paris. Pretty standard firefight here, nothing really to worry about. You're just going to clear out wave by wave and try to advance. Remember, as for some general strategies, typically when you move up, your teammates will, your AI teammates will move up as well. So try to use that to your advantage. One thing you'll want to do is, you know, say there's a number of enemies in front of you. On Veteran, it can be hard to kill enemies, especially if there are a lot of them. So one thing that's always pretty helpful is to run up and then hide. And what that will do is more often than not, it will trigger your teammates to run up with you, and then they'll start killing the soldiers for you, or at the very least, they'll kind of draw the fire away from you. So perfect example you see right here, I'm in this bar, and there are a number of enemies outside, and you saw when I tried to pop up and shoot them, I took quite a bit of damage. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up to this wall here, and all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to trigger my teammates to run up here and join me in the fight. So I'll go ahead and aim out the window, take out a couple of guys. But then in a couple seconds, you're about to see my teammates will in fact run up and help me out, and that's when my life gets a lot easier. Alright, so there's not a lot of enemies out in this initial area, but there you go. See, now my teammates are going to run up, and that's not only going to make it easier for me to fight the guys, but it's gonna draw the fire away from me. So definitely, you know, keep that in mind. Try to use that to your advantage. Whenever you get the opportunity, try to run up, and that will allow your teammates to run up too. But all in all, this is a pretty standard fight. There's not a whole lot of strategy here. You can see there's a lot of areas to take cover. The strategy really won't come in until a couple seconds when we have to make our way across the bridge. And so I might as well say, again, for those of you new to the channel, one thing I like to do during my commentary is I like to be informative and helpful and share strategies, but also I like to talk about the game, and sometimes, you know, during lesser moments I'll talk about just things that are going on in my life, anything like that. So I might as well share this. It's kind of exciting. Right before recording this commentary, I actually just submitted my very first application for grad school. So again, for those of you who don't know, possibly you're new to the channel, I have gone up in subscribers recently. I am getting my bachelor's degree in physics, and I'm in my senior year right now. I'm going to be graduating in May, and my goal is to go to graduate school to get my PhD in theoretical physics. Based on my performance in my bachelor degree years, based on my performance, I'm pretty confident I can get into a top 10 school. Specifically, what I want to do is I want to go into elementary theoretical particle physics, basically string theory, things like that. And so yeah, so I'm in the process of filling out all these grad school applications, and I just submitted my first one to the University of Texas at Austin. They have a very good particle physics program. It's close to Arizona, which is my home, so I like that as well. Plus, I like Texas. I've been to Texas once. Nothing bad to say about it. I really enjoy barbecue, and God knows they did it well. So, so yeah. So it's kind of an exciting moment. I just, you know, submitting that first application. It feels like, I don't know, a big step towards my future. Anyway, now we are approaching the bridge, and this is where strategy will come into play. So what you're going to want to do is make your way towards the bridge. Again, that will trigger your teammates to run up with you. And what you're going to want to do as soon as you get to the bridge, you're going to want to run into the trunk of this car. So you're going to see right here to the left, thanks buddy. I'm going to run up to this truck right here where there is a sniper rifle. And that is going to make this fight significantly easier. And I'll tell you right now, that's probably my #1 strategy for this game, is anytime you can get yourself a sniper rifle, get yourself a sniper rifle. Most people might be thinking, you know, some people are really good at sniping, others aren't. typically I've been pretty good at sniping in the past. I enjoy sniping in multiplayer situations. But I will tell you right now that sniping in this game is incredibly easy, and that is because of the focus meter. So you'll see that while you're aiming down your sights, you can click the left joystick, and that will cause Daniels to focus. Essentially, he slows his breath. It kind of goes to this weird slow motion, and it makes it a lot easier to get a headshot. The one thing I found, which is really odd, when you're focusing, enemies typically can't shoot you. So even if an enemy is looking right at you, if you are focusing, the enemy typically won't actually shoot you. And so it just makes things incredibly easy. You can kill 10 plus enemies in a matter of seconds using the sniper rifle. And another good thing is the sniper rifle typically has a lot of ammo in it, so it's not often that you run out of ammo. So that's definitely my biggest piece of advice, not only for this level, but most likely most situations that are going to occur in future videos, is anytime you can get your hand on a sniper rifle, get your hand on a sniper rifle. And you're gonna see a little later in the level we have to do this kind of intense defense sequence, and I'm gonna basically use the sniper rifle the entire time. And it just, I'm telling you, it makes things so much easier. Especially too, like, look at this. There's a APC approaching with a turret driver. I just shot the turret driver first try in the head because of that focus meter. Now you see this guy up here in the window raining down machine gun fire. Those are two guys that should have presented really big threats on veteran difficulty, but because of the sniper rifle, they turned out to be kind of jokes. And again, I mean, just realistically think about it. Say a APC pulls up and there's an enemy in a turret. You know, what's going to be easier and what's going to be smarter? Running up to the APC with an assault rifle and trying to get a headshot while just getting murdered by machine gun fire and turret fire, or running away, getting some distance between you and the APC, and then just sniping him once in the head. Obviously, it's the latter. So yeah, the sniper rifle is by far going to be your best bet. I know that for a fact on my regular playthrough of the game, I used the sniper rifle as much as I could, and it really does make your life so much easier. So especially, like I said, for this bridge sequence, pick that sniper rifle up and make use of it. Again, right there, another enemy hopped into the turret of the APC. So what do? I whip out the handy dandy sniper rifle, pop them from afar, and we're good to go. Alright, so I got myself a checkpoint. Now I notice my teammates are all kind of running up, and that's your cue that you can run up as well. From this point on, there's really not a lot of enemies to worry about. You'll see there's a couple guys at the end of the street that they're firing on. Thank you. Oh, also, I should point out, I found out this whole ability with having teammates give you supplies. At the beginning of the walkthrough, I thought that it just automatically did that with time, but I found out that it's actually based on the enemies you kill. So every time you kill an enemy, those meters will go up slightly, and that's how you do it. Is you just keep killing. Alright, so anyway, now we've met up with Crowley and Rousseau. You should notice this area. This is where we planted the explosives as Rousseau. But now we kind of control the area. And so now our objective is to clear the building. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to clear the building, we're going to make our way up to the second floor, and then we're going to start a defensive sequence. So what's going to happen here, unfortunately, you have to get this shotgun from Crowley. And when you do that, it actually makes you get rid of your other weapons. I don't know why, that's just what happens. Now this first room, she's going to throw a smoke grenade in. You're just going to run in with the shotgun and tear these guys apart. They are blinded. They won't shoot back at you. You have nothing to worry about here. Just run in. Obviously, you want to do it somewhat quickly before they're able to get their bearings, because then they can shoot you. But this first room is really easy. The shotgun is really powerful, especially if you're able to get close enough to the enemies, which, since the room is filled with smoke, you are. Okay. And now we're going to have to clear out one more room. This one is a bit harder because we don't have the luxury of smoke, but at the end of the day, it's not very difficult. So just go ahead and, you know, turn your corner slowly. I'm going to throw a grenade in here towards those enemies. Your teammates are actually going to approach the room from the other side. So, again, that makes your life a little easier. And now I think there's only one guy left, and that will pretty much finish up clearing the room. And there we go. Room is now clear, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up another sniper rifle. So note that there is one in this room that you can pick up. There's an ammo supply right here. There are Molotov cocktails right here. And now we are going to begin the defense sequence. It lasts about 4 or 5 minutes. It's actually not that hard. It's pretty simple. Especially, like I said, if you use the sniper rifle, which, again, is my biggest piece of advice for this game. Also, the Molotov cocktails come in handy as well. And so this sequence is going to consist of a number of waves. The first wave is just going to be, you know, some foot soldiers. Then we're going to have an APC. Then we're going to have some snipers. You will get numerous checkpoints throughout the fight, but we're basically just going to stand in this spot the entire time. So you'll see smoke appear at the end of the street down there, and that's when the truck is going to pull up, and you're going to want to shoot the driver of the truck. So first I shot the turret driver, and now check this out. This is pretty sweet. Through the window, shot the driver, goodbye truck, and now I'm just going to kill as many Nazis as I can before they're able to get close. Now eventually they will get to the bridge, and we do have ground forces down there. So our goal here is to kind of provide cover fire for those ground forces. So like I said, eventually the enemies will get to the end of the bridge. That's not really our concern. However, we don't want them to get too close. So anytime you hear your character say, hey, they're getting too close, that's when we're going to start throwing Molotov cocktails down there. Now, Zussman's going to warn you about snipers on the other end of the block in the windows over there. And as soon as you hear him say that, you're going to want to take out those snipers as quickly as possible, because those are really the only guys that are going to be able to kill you here. So there is the first sniper. I mean, you could see that I almost died right there because I was a bit too late getting to the sniper. So again, as soon as he tells you that there are snipers in the area, that's when you're going to want to fire on them. Now you'll notice here I'm going to just start raining Molotov cocktails down there. And again, another sniper almost killed me because I was too busy throwing those Molotovs. I forgot about him. So again, just take out the snipers first and foremost. There are a ton of Molotov cocktails right here for you to pick up, and you're just going to throw them into the street right around the direction that I'm throwing them, and that should eliminate most of the foot soldiers. Again, this sequence seems like it's going to be really hard, but it turns out to be pretty simple. Just stick to the sniper rifle and the Molotov cocktails. The enemies are all going to kind of clump together on that bridge, and so you just rain down that fire, and that's pretty much it. It's really not too difficult. Sometimes an APC might pull up. If that happens, just shoot the turret driver with the sniper rifle. But again, you can see, I'm just, it's just headshot after headshot. It's headshot city here. Really nothing to worry about. You got soldiers on the ground doing their job. You got guys up here doing their job. Yeah, so again, the thing that makes this really easy is the sniper rifle. I'm really not looking forward to the next level. The next level is called Collateral Damage, and it was probably my least favorite level in the on my initial playthrough of the game. Oh yeah, which I should point out, I ended up beating the game on regular, so now I'm going through and beating all the rest of the missions on veteran. My initial strategy was to do like level by level, so I was going to play one level on regular, the next level on veteran, just like that. But I ended up kind of getting caught in the game, and I just wanted to beat it because I was having a lot of fun, and I really wanted to see the end of the story, and I didn't want to wait to finish this walkthrough to do that. So I ended up beating the game, but now we got to beat it on veteran. Again, it's 11 levels long. This is level 5, so 6 more to go. Alright, and eventually he's gonna say that word like Panzerschrecks, and those are like missiles that they shoot at this building, and so you'll see they start shooting it. At this point, don't worry, you don't have to kill them or anything. This is kind of a scripted sequence. They're gonna shoot you out of the building right here, so don't worry, you did nothing wrong. This is completely scripted. We're pretty much at the end of the fight here. That poor guy didn't make it. But Zussman's going to jump out, and he's going to advise you to do the same. So go ahead and do that. And now an enemy vehicle is going to pull up, and you're going to see the Panzerschreck right in front of you, so go ahead and crawl towards it. Pick it up. And just pop one shot into the vehicle, and then go ahead and duck down. There are still going to be some enemies in the area, but you don't actually have to worry about fighting them. Instead, I want to show you this. Like, look at this. There are enemies behind us shooting at us, and there are just these Frenchmen in the streets talking to each other. Like, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting there talking. I don't know what they're talking about, croissants or baguettes or whatever. But they're just, like, they didn't even help. They're just standing there. They're not shooting. They're not helping. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. But anyway, go ahead and approach your comrades over here, and that will trigger the end of the level.
Outstanding work, boys. Outstanding.
We did it. The ghost forces are entering the city.
Looks like we might get that champagne and caviar after all.
Hey, Daniels, you still think there's a young gal looking for a handsome GI?
Sorry, buddy. That was just to boost your morale.
Now he tells me.
City of Lights. Finally. Something to celebrate, eh, Crowley?
There's no turning back. France has reclaimed Paris.
This ain't exactly over yet. The war's not done.
Now come on, Pearson, let them have this.
That's what Turner's for.
Alright everyone, and there you have it. That is the end of Mission 5, Liberation. We are almost halfway through with the game on Veteran Difficulty. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. And I think that's pretty much it. So I will see you in the next level.